What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi is slightly green, 0.06, not all that much, anything crazy, but 17.9 is the low, 1842 is the high. Kind of low volume, so 38 million shares being traded, 42.9 is the average. We have roughly around an hour left in the trading day. I just felt kind of given everything, today being the last trading day before their hopefully epic earnings, I just wanted to kind of put out a earlier video, but a couple of things to talk on. So existing home sales did come out better than anticipated. So 4.2 million is the actual, 4.1 is the average. So that's good data. Of course, that did prompt this to go down. So the likelihood of a cut for the March 19th meeting did go down slightly. So again, something to keep in mind, but to throw a wrench into pretty much everything, one thing that is really prompting the market to go down roughly around noon today was this right here. So the World Economic Forum. So obviously the top leaders and whatever else, they talked on inflation, very hot topic. And essentially some of them did say that they used the analogy, a genie in the bottle. And I think they said that everything of the genie is in the bottle with the exception of the legs, and potentially to push the legs in, I know as weird as it sounds, you need to raise rates, but it needs to be at a very controlled level, only because not to spark any recession. So you pretty much bring up two very scary topics, recession and raising of interest rates, in the same kind of like a speech or kind of discussion, and you're going to have the market panic a little bit. So that's what's happening a little bit behind the scenes. And then when it comes down to specific to SoFi, no actual news, no SEC filings. This also did come out yesterday. So it's pretty much the SEC opened the door for big banks to hold crypto once again. And that is because of this. So yeah, I think in general, this is very good. It allows pretty much a lot of big banks to be obviously custodian of cryptocurrency, and hopefully it shouldn't be all that difficult for Anthony to once again get cryptocurrency back in under the umbrella. And yeah, hopefully that'll bring in some pretty good revenue. I think we don't really have that much stats as far as what that might result in future revenue for SoFi, because when SoFi did have cryptocurrency, I don't think we have enough data to really kind of forecast that. But nonetheless, I think given the hype, that would be very good for SoFi. Just it's all tentative right now, right? So SoFi does need to come out stating that, hey, we are going to be doing this by this date, blah, blah, blah. And then the market might start to price that in. But until that does occur, you just have a lot of speculation on when that might really drop. But aside from that, shorts are returning, 465,000 shares, 11.9% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 126.87 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 14.36, and then through IBKR you do see in excess of 10 million shares. So if shorts really wanted to double down, they could, and so I see this as fairly optimistic. The fact that shorts are returning on this somewhat mixed day, it kind of shows that it's unjustified. That's just my interpretation, of course. I could be wrong. Moving on to options, 43 million in calls, 11 million in puts, 46% of all the options done today were bearish. So leading into their earnings, looks like there's a consensus of somewhat bearishness. So not necessarily the best, but of the call options that have been purchased so far, there's a consensus for it to be roughly around $25 for next week. So that's kind of the bulls. The bears are anticipating for it to be sub 14. So regardless, there is still more upside anticipated, but no matter what though, just anticipate a lot of volatility. So I think that's the $1 million question, is what is going to happen to SoFi post earnings? Is history going to repeat itself and really pull down, or is it really going to kind of stay higher? So just to give you a quick overview, so this is Palantir, you guys don't need this. So looking at SoFi, even though pretty much all of these earnings has been absolutely on point, good growth, good numbers, it's mixed. So roughly around a 50-50 in either direction. So again, anything is possible. So let me know your viewpoint. With today being Friday, this is the open interest. So you have roughly around 10,000 at that 1750, 16,000 at that 1820, or 14,000 at 1850, and then 14,000 at 19. So again, you might see some manipulation in the last little bit just to really push it below 18. Or heaven forbid, maybe 1750. I don't see that being realistic, but more probably a test of the 18 once again. We'll just have to wait and see. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So a lot of transactions, 2.14, 10.5, 1.09. A lot of them are kind of selling associated to this dip right here, but I don't know. I feel like big money is just kind of holding their breath for earnings. But right now with it at 1802, just it's trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 1784 is going to be the next strong support. You have that resistance level associated to just the options activity. So that 18 will be kind of that middle ground. And then 1820 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. I have no idea what is up with SoFi. It's one of those most baffling stocks because you are having more ratings. Like I cover quite a few different stocks, and Lucid, for instance, has maybe, I don't know, 7 analysts that cover it in its entirety. You've pretty much in the last 3 weeks have had 7 ratings just on SoFi before their earnings, and just that doesn't, the logic isn't there. So I think there is more to it with all these ratings coming out. Surprisingly enough, we didn't actually have that one from David come out. I was anticipating that to be today, but maybe he's just waiting for earnings just to do it day one, and then that would prompt a sell-off possibly. But for analysts to give ratings before, like the day before an earnings, is just flawed. So it's interesting to see people's dynamic of everything without the actual fundamental data. That's just messed up. But beside the point, there was a new one that came out today. Andrew, who has a 66% success rating, did reiterate their buy rating, no price target given, and then from William Blair. So let me know your thoughts on that. And then aside from that, on the actual chart itself, it is right now still above the ALMA. So that is sitting at 1761, above all the key pivotal moving averages. The only negative, as I've been bringing up, is the fact that SoFi is overbought, and you can see that from the stochastic RSI. So nothing really crazy. A lot of stocks are overbought and can stay in overbought status for a while now, but the first sign of weakness, or if you, let's say, bring up recession and also kind of raising rates in one conversation, that's probably enough to spook a lot of the market. So all in all, that's what is really affecting SoFi right now. So let me know your viewpoint. Are you buying SoFi? Are you selling? What's your thoughts on, for instance, just shorts returning the day before their earnings? Do you think that's more of a precursor that they feel there's more kind of a win coming, or just what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Stay tuned for my weekend video where I go over some expectations for this upcoming week. Also encumbering their earnings. So let me know your thoughts on all that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers, so worthwhile to pop over there and take a look with all that. Appreciate all of you watching.